Good morning, friends. My name is Vijay Gosavi. I'm here to welcoming you in IT Teamwork family. I hope you came here to make your career in IT industry. Okay. Today, your lectures is going to be start in terms of networking. Let me introduce your faculty, Mr. Sanchit Mishra. Okay, he is going to take your networking lectures, and I hope he is there in the industry almost 6 to 7 years, and he will give you best to best what exactly you are looking out. Okay, and whichever place you required our supports. Okay, you always welcome. Okay, and always we are there to help you people. Thank you.
Good morning, friends. Myself, Professor S. I. Mishra. Many people also know me by the name of Sanjit Mishra. Well, I am the trainer of your N+, or you can also say that networking certification. In India, it is known as network, and in some time, it is also famous by the N+ certification. Basically, what is the meaning of network and what is the meaning of networking? In network, for example, nowadays, no one, not even a single people is known by the mobile number. For example, my mobile number is example 12345678910. But for example, if I forget my cell at my home, no one will going to be contact me anytime. What do you think about there is an example of plane hijack. What do you think? That such a large plane will going to hijack by the small people? No, it is not like that. Basically, that plane will be uncontact from the network. That's all. Second example, I can say that such an huge cruise is there. For example, just you can say Titanic. Even Titanic can be misplaced from the network. Once anything that goes out of the network, it is unreachable. For example, sometimes has called many peoples. They say that the number you are trying to reach is out of coverage area. It means that the people is out of the network. Or if the people cells are in the network, then that people can be achieved by the call. So networking field is divided into two types. First one is physical and second one is logical. In physical means what? That can be touched. And logical, that can be our imagination. If I get certain clue, then it's a physical. And if sometime I didn't get any clue, then it's a logical. So in the same way, our networking is divided into two types. First one is physical, second one is logical. In physical, that physical are subcategorized in two types. First one is client and server, and second we can say that it's a P2P protocol, or we can say that it's a point-to-point protocol. So let's discuss on the logical department, on logical field. In logical we have multiple 5 types, but it is famous only by the 3 names: LAN, MAN and WAN. For example, you are calling local peoples, so I can say that it is an example of the LAN. If you are calling people, for example, STD call you are using, so I can say it is an example of MAN. For example, if you are using international call, or you are calling your friend who is staying in London, then it's an example of WAN. For example, normal people calls on the same number without adding 0, then that call is not possible without STD charges. So it is depend upon the networking. For example, at the time of the LAN, people think that okay, that source number as well as destination number are both of the common place. That is the only reason at Airtel to Airtel 10 paisa free. Or you can also say that at Airtel to Airtel night charges are free. But on the same number, if I use the STD charges, then what happens? God will not going to be allowed. So it's mean that PCO and STD and ISD are the best example of LAN, MAN and WAN. Let's have an example of LAN. Okay. In a LAN, for example, my boss is sitting on the 7th floor and I am sitting on the 1st floor. My boss just called me out. He told me that, oh, okay, Mr. Sam, just give me the file of ABC. After some time, I have just taken the file and just went for the 7th floor. I have traveled for, I can say, more than 15 minutes. And once I reached to my boss cabin, my boss, the secretary of the boss told me that boss had just gone for the meeting. So what is the uses of that? In the example of LAN, if I am sitting on the 1st floor and my boss is sitting on the 7th floor, I can directly share my file within a fraction of a second. So it's helped that communication is too much faster in networking. For example, I am located at Virar. My friend is located at Churchgate. I have to go over there and I have to just take a file from him, or I have to just take a video, or I can say a movie from my friend. I'll just taken a train of 11 a.m. Okay, so just started from 11 a.m. And after having a traveling of 11:30 or 12 a.m. after 1:30, I reached to anyhow at church gate. But what's the use? My friend was not there. He just went out with someone. Even I can say with his friend or even with his girlfriend. So let it be. We are not bothering about that. After 1:30, I again just started from church gate to Virar. Then when I came here, my friend was sitting with at my own place. I just asked him, yeah, you should tell me that you are coming at my place. Then my friend replied, hey, we don't have any networking communication. Then how it's possible? So a small thing, a network, or you can say a networking, is the biggest bomb of the world. For example, you might be having the example of this aeroplanes. Autopilot mode, काफी लोग ने सुना होगा. Autopilot mode is an example of networking. The pilot can take a rest. Then also the plane will be on the same network. Second example. There is an example of robot. The things that has been situated at the Mars, they all are controlled by the network only. So let's have a graphical diagram of small network. Let's have one word that is known as network. And we can say that his brother is there, that is known as networking. R should be silent. Okay. So in this first word and second word, one word is common, that is known as network. So anyone can ask, what is the basic difference between network and networking? So let's have a discussion of network and networking. What is the meaning of network? Or interviewer can ask, what is the actual meaning of network, or what is the actual meaning of networking? So for a network means two devices or more than two devices are joined together, are just joined together. There is nothing sharing of communication. Then it is known as network. Again I am repeating. What is the meaning of network? When two or more devices are joined together, then it is known as a network. Or we can say then all the devices are in a network. Then what is the basic difference between networking? In networking, there is one and only one important point, that is known as between all that devices, between all that client, or we can also use between all that node, there is an sharing of resources. In resources we can add multiple things, just like Xerox, scanner, printer. LAN printer should be there, not a normal printer. LAN printer or multiple things. So these are the basic difference between network and networking. Now this networking has vast field in the field of Cisco. And this normal networking, that is known as N+ certification. So today after this lecture we will just going to cover complete N+ certification. Okay, so just have a look of physical diagram. So let's have an example of networking. Networking is divided into two types. First one is physical, second one is logical. As 5 minutes early, I have told you that what is the basic difference between physical and logical. Now this physical is divided into two major types. First one is known as client and server. Server is represented by SCRV dot. And second one is known as P2P. Now this P2P has multiple names. First one peer to peer, second one point to point. Let's have a basic difference between P2P. Means P2P is divided into two types. First one is known as point to point and second one is known as peer to peer. For example, I am having this two PC. First one is client number 1 and second one is client number 2. Now if I want to add in a network, I can add without using any components of networking. For example, if I have multiple NIC card in this as well as in this, then I can have direct connectivity between both two pieces. Or I can say between, these are the client. These are the client. I am not using any members word. In further discussion, I will say you what is the basic difference between client, nodes and members. So let's have a look. In logical I divided into multiple types. I can say it is divided into 5 basic types. First one is known as LAN, second one is known as MAN, third one is known as WAN. There are also 2 types, that is known as PAN and CAN. Slowly we will going to discuss about LAN, MAN, WAN, PAN and CAN. For example, I have only one company that is located at Virar and second company is located at Churchgate. So how, boss is always one, na? So it's not possible that after 2 hours my boss will be over at Virar, after 2 hours it will located at Churchgate. It's not possible. So for that I have created a LAN. In a LAN we have one server situated, or I can say located at a centralized place. So first question that you will directly going to get in your mind, what is the meaning of server? So after some time I will going to explain you what is the exact meaning of server in a LAN. So let's have an example of, first I can say LAN. In this LAN, the full form of that is local area network. My first famous interview question, I will just going to tell you right now. In MAN, M has different meaning. Then also there is a common word of area network. In third, that is known as WAN, there is also a W stand for different thing, but I just want to say one major point of this. In all this word, there is a common word by the name of area network. Right now you will going to just get what is the actual meaning of networking. For example, my younger brother or elder brother has this remote car. Okay, or you can say, just have an example of remote TV. There is a range between that remote as well as that specific TV. For example, I can say 100 meter, but it will going to work after 200 meter? Or I can say my Bluetooth device, if I am using 2 mobile for the file sharing with the help of Bluetooth, it is possible that I can take one cell to Churchgate and another cell to Virar? No, not at all. Why? Let's have a look. In this LAN, there is an area which works within that network. In MAN also, there is a specified area which works in specified network. In WAN, there is an area which also works in a network. So, this point indicate a common network. Common network. So what is the meaning of this? Local, metropolitan or wide area network. Let's have a look. Local means, I can say, best example I can say just like PCO. For MAN, I can say best example is STD. And for WAN, I can use ISD. For example, this all network are working in a specific area. If one area will want to communicate, or the member or client, I'm not using again member, I'm using client. Now the client of one area, if want to have communication with client of another area, then how it's possible? It is only possible with the help of components. Have an example. What are the components that are used in LAN? First one is switch, or I can say layer 2 router. In next lecture, I will say what are the example between, what are the basic difference between layer 2 router and layer 3 router. For MAN, I can use Cisco router or any series of router. For WAN, there are wireless router. So now slowly, first topic is of LAN, second topic is of MAN, and third topic is of WAN. So now our first lecture will be of LAN. So let's have a look. What is the basic meaning of LAN? What are the requirements? With the help of that we can create LAN. Why we use LAN? What are the advantages of LAN? What are the disadvantages of LAN? These are the famous 5 interview questions that will going to be asked in every interview. So these are the 5 interview questions. So we will going to cover all basic interview questions of LAN within this lecture. So let's have a look. For example, this is my PC number 1. This is PC number 2. Or this is PC number 3. Even I can connect this PC directly. If I connect PC directly, then it is known as P2P network. Remember one thing. If I connect PC directly, then it is known as P2P network. But if I connect the same PC with the help of any components, what I am saying, if I add the same PC with the help of any component, then that will be a perfect example of logical, or I can say physical, logical example. For example, this PC is added by this component, this PC is added by this component, and this also added with the same component. Now this component can be many things. This component, the topic of component will be covered in 4th lecture. There are multiple components. For example, hub, switch, router, modem, repeater, and there is a last but not the least, there is a bridge. These 6 are the basic components that will going to be covered, or that all component will going to be used to make a small LAN. But what example if I want to make a multiple LAN? If I want to make a multiple LAN, then I have to go for MAN. So for that you should know what is the basic difference between LAN and what is the basic difference between MAN. So this is the example of LAN, because LAN always going to work in locally, or that's the only reason. LAN stands for local area network, means that network will going to be cover a small area that will going to be locally situated or locally located. So let's have an example of LAN. After that we will directly going to jump on MAN. My first point of LAN. LAN can be privately owned. Privately owned means anyone can make a LAN. LAN can be making multiple times by using same class, but remember one thing, but with different switch. Let me explain you what is the meaning of this. For example, this is my first cabin and this is my another cabin. There is a 3 PC and here I am having 3 PC. There is a switch. Switch is the example of LAN. For LAN we can use switch, switch 1 and switch 2. Connected, connected, connected. This also are connected, or I can say one more PC are connected with same switch. Now 192.168.10.1, the IP address of this PC. For this I can use 10.2. For this I can use 10.3. The same IP address can be used in another LAN, 10.1, 10.2, and I can say 10.3. Now there is a big question in your mind that, sir, same IP address how we can use for 2 different LAN? But remember one thing, in a LAN we can use same IP address, but both switch should be not connected, or else we will going to get one error. What will be the error? There is a conflict of IP address in your LAN. For example, till today we don't have anyone's contact number same. Did we have? Not at all. Even I am having more than 5 SIM card. Even you might be having more than 10 SIM card. But did we any others number are same? Not at all. It's not possible. Let's have a look how it's not possible. Come. For example, this is a switch. This switch make a address of this LAN, and this switch make a address of this LAN. Now it's not possible that this address and this address will be the same. That is the only reason this both can use same IP address. Again I am repeating how it's possible that two LAN can use same IP address. Yeah, it's possible. We can use two IP address, or we can, for example, my first PC has taken 10.1, but it is in LAN 1 and another it is in LAN 2. So it's possible because both components are not connected with each other. Okay, so let's discuss third point. For a LAN, the major important thing is no license is required. Now my first question, why license is not required? For example, even getting a small SIM card, we require the document. So for creating a small LAN, license is not required. How it is possible? Yeah, it is possible by only a simple switch. Because switch is an intelligent device compared to hub. In a switch, there is an address table. It recognizes all the client and all the MAC address. That is the only reason we doesn't get any errors. And that is why license is not required. Because if there is an error, we have to call certain networking engineer. But error is not there, so not an issue. But yeah, remember one thing, for LAN it is okay. But when you are expanding your network, or you are expanding your network, for MAN you require license. Because for Cisco router, your trainer should be CCNA certified, just like in VR. So let's have a discussion of a small diagram of complete network. This is divided into two types. First one is physical. Again, second one is logical. In physical, we have client and server. That will going to be covered in MCITP. Now that was 2008 server. Now we have 2012 server, latest of Microsoft. And second one is peer-to-peer client. We are not using at all. In logical, we will going to focus on LAN and MAN and WAN. This both topic are covered in CCNA, and only LAN and its components are covered in networking, or you can say N+. So guys, today we have just learned what is the meaning of network, what is the meaning of networking, why we use network, what are the advantages of network, and what are the disadvantages of network. But remember one thing, you should focus on basic difference between network and networking. That's all. Thank you.